Okay, I think I got this. Nope. Nope again. Ninja Gaiden on the NES is one of those games that feel amazing to play, until you realize that it was designed to make you suffer. Despite that, this is one of those games that everyone considers quintessential, and I get why people call this a classic, because in a lot of ways it really is. The controls, awesome, music, incredible, graphics and presentation, way ahead of its time. But then there are moments where the game design is just plain unfair. And don't even get me started on the birds. I love birds in real life, but these birds can go straight to hell. Anyways, today we're looking at Ninja Gaiden on the NES to see if this game is actually a masterpiece, or if the difficulty and game design hold it back just enough to make it really good instead of great. Ninja Gaiden was released in 1988 on the NES, and it was developed by Tecmo. Now this isn't the original Ninja Gaiden. The original was in the arcade and it was a beat 'em up. I've never played that one, but I shall someday. You'll find that one thing that really stands out right off the bat is that the game is a rare NES game that attempts to be cinematic. Cutscenes, dialogue, story progression, they actually pulled it all off. For an NES game, this was kind of a big deal. It actually feels like you're on a mission, not just running right and jumping so you could save the world or the princess. It gave the game a flair that we didn't really see until the 16-bit era. Once you fire up the game and you start playing, the first thing you'll notice is that this game controls really well. The movement feels fast but precise, the jumping feels good, wall climbing is smooth, and attacks are snappy. Ryu feels responsive, and that matters because this game gets really tough. Like really tough. A lot of times when you die, you'll find that it isn't because of bad control. There are times, of course, when you miss a jump or have bad timing, and in these cases you feel like it was your fault. This is super important in a difficult game. We'll talk about what makes this game truly difficult and evil later on. The combat is simple but satisfying, sword range feels fair, and each sub-weapon is useful. The movement in this game is quick and it really gets you into a rhythm once you get used to it. You seemingly feel one with the ninja, and I think that's a big reason why people stick with it. When it comes to these things, there's not many flaws. There was one weird glitch where I fell off and I ended up looping around and falling from the top of the screen instead of dying. This is something that I need to see happen more in these tough games. One thing I dislike is the timer. I actually died to it because some parts of this game require patience. The music is insane. It's seriously good, high energy, memorable, and it fits the action perfectly. Some of these tracks get stuck in your head immediately. It keeps the momentum going and makes everything feel intense. This is one of the games I pull tracks from for streams and editing videos. I truly believe that it's one of the stronger NES soundtracks. Visually, this is one of the better looking NES games out there. The sprites look great and the animation is smooth with little slowdown or flickering. The setting of each level is varied and I think they all look great except for the jungle one. You know, the ones in Act 4, which kinda looks poopy to be honest with you. But the big thing with this game is the presentation. The cutscenes help push the story forward and makes everything feel connected. It actually gives you motivation to keep going. As a kid, I always found that even when the game starts getting rough, you still want to keep grinding through just to see how the story plays out. I know it's strange to say today, but my kid brain was amazed by this game because it had an actual in-depth story. While the story was a bit stereotypical when compared to cartoons or anime at the time, I enjoyed it. You play as Ryu, who is trying to avenge his father's death. And by the way, his father's name is Ken. While doing this, he uncovers a conspiracy involving ancient demon statues, secret agents get involved, and he ends up having to save the world. What's weird is that they also talk about Shinobi in the intro cutscene, which is a game series that I've never played.
But what do you think about the game design?
So this is where my opinion on the game starts to shift a bit. Because while the gameplay feels great, some of the design choices can feel a little unfair. There are 3 fatal flaws in my opinion. Respawning enemies is one. Enemies respawn when you slightly move backward on the screen. I mean, sometimes you're just trying to line up a jump, and suddenly the enemy you just defeated is back. This may sound normal, as most games respawn the enemies once they're off the screen and you return to that spot, but this game respawns them when they're like an inch away from the end of the screen. It is super annoying, as now you're dealing with the situation all over again while trying not to fall. It can feel less like difficulty and more like the game was designed to mess with you. The knockback. My god, the knockback. When you get hit, you go flying backwards, which is kinda normal as well, and it wouldn't be a huge deal in most games. Again, a lot of them were like that back then, except this game loves to put pits everywhere, so one hit can instantly turn into a death. I've also always felt like Ryu is magnetized towards the pits. Very rarely do you get knocked back in a way where you land on the platform you came from. This creates unnecessary tension even when you're playing well. It didn't need to be so dramatic to the point where it sometimes also feels cheap. The enemies. As I alluded to, I hate the birds. They move fast, they approach at weird angles, and they always show up when you're mid-jump. Their timing is always perfect. It was designed to ruin your runs. I don't know who programmed these birds, but they knew exactly what they were doing. I also feel like they take off more health than the average enemy.
They are watching you.
Yeah, I know. They're waiting for me to jump. I also dislike the dogs, wildcats, and hunchback type enemies, as they are so unpredictable and they rush you.
You have not seen anything yet.
Act 6 is partly why this video took so long to release. Not only is it one of the toughest stretches of gaming on the NES, my PC actually crashed and ended up in a blue screen of Deathloop while recording the second last boss of this game. I guess I tried so many times that my PC wanted me to take a break. Anyways, Act 6 is where the game really shows its teeth. Up until this point, the game is challenging but manageable. Act 6 is kinda like the game saying,
I'm glad that you like me, but you'll never leave me.
That was weird, what happened to my voice? Gas, I guess. Enemy placement becomes more aggressive as they are everywhere now. Look at the footage. They really took it too far. They also require more precise jumps now, which with that many enemies is almost impossible. And as we know with this game, mistakes get punished quickly. You will have to continue a lot, and the pressure really builds up, especially once you get to the 3 bosses at the end of the game, because if you lose at any of these bosses, you don't just retry the boss, you go back to 6-1, which makes every attempt feel intense. And this will happen a lot, as the second last boss is one of the toughest bosses that I've ever beaten. The tip I have for him is to not get hit by his body, as it takes 2 times the health away it seems. One thing that's weird in this fight is that the wall jump sometimes breaks, and you get stuck to the wall. As if it wasn't tough enough, once you beat one of these bosses, you lose your power-ups, which doesn't make any sense in my opinion. The only forgiving part of this stretch is that they refill your health after each boss, and those bosses stay defeated if you die again. This section is tough, but it also highlights how strong the core gameplay is, because even when you fail, you still feel like you could do it. Despite all the frustration, this is still a game that people come back to all the time. And I think it's because once you learn the patterns and start improving, it feels really satisfying. I've seen many people beat it in an hour. I will likely never get there, but I respect it. I recommend you replay it if you've played it as a kid, or just play it if you've never tried it before. This is the NES equivalent of Dark Souls, but with chiptunes. Yeah, there's a lot to like here. I love the controls, music, graphics, and presentation. I find that they are strong. The gameplay is fast and satisfying, but the respawning enemies, knockback, and some of the unfair feeling situations hold it just a little bit back for me. Instead of being a perfect game, I'd call Ninja Gaiden a really good game that occasionally plays a little dirty. It's definitely still worth playing, just be ready for some frustrating moments along the way. Now tell me, did you grow up playing Ninja Gaiden? Do you think the difficulty makes it better? Or does it go a little bit too far sometimes? Let me know in the comments. Because one thing is clear, beating this game takes skill, patience, and the ability to rise above, even when the game keeps trying to knock you down a peg, or a pit. And that's a wrap. It is time to reboot. I will see you on the other side.